How many cryptocurrencies should you own? So I see this question quite a lot, and a few people panic about how many cryptocurrencies they own. Is it enough? Should I get more? Have I got too many? I'm going to lose everything. So a lot of panic about how many cryptocurrencies someone should own. Some people have quite a reduced portfolio of just a few specific targeted cryptocurrencies, while others seem to race to get as many as they can, seemingly, I think, looking for the next big thing to explode. So they get as many as they can because one will surely soar to the moon. But what I want to do in this video is give you some guidance and try to take the emotion out of investing, which can hinder a lot of people on their crypto and general investment journeys if they're looking to create long-term and even generational wealth. And before I get into the video, I do need to say that this isn't financial advice. I'm not telling you what to do. It's simply education and my opinion based on my experience, portfolio, and working with others and helping them. And hopefully you can use this education to then make decisions on your own cryptocurrency portfolio based on your own personal circumstances. And if you find this interesting and would like to click on subscribe and like the video, it really does help. So thank you very much. And also, if you are looking for more of a hands-on approach rather than just watching videos, I do offer one-to-one coaching. So let me know if that's of interest to you by putting education in the comments below, and I'll get in contact and you can have a free 30-minute video call. So let's jump into it. How many cryptocurrencies should you own? Before you invest in any cryptocurrency, regardless of how many you have or where your starting point is, my first piece of advice is you have to research that project as much as you possibly can. Secondly, try to detach your emotions from your investments as much as you can. Try not to chase the next big thing wherever possible. For example, if the price of the latest meme coin has gone up by 80%, I wouldn't be rushing in personally to invest in that. Try not to follow the crowd and the euphoria and the panic of investing in crypto. Try to stay level-headed and make decisions based on your research, based on your education, and based on your values. Because I have a saying, which is, if you have a doubt, there is no doubt. Don't invest in it. Or as Warren Buffett said, never invest in a business you cannot understand. Also, what is your time frame for holding the cryptocurrency? Before we get into how many should you have, you need to consider what's your time frame. If you're looking to make a significant amount of money in the next 6 months, for example, if you've seen my previous video about the state of the economy, I would suggest this probably is not the right thing for you. And you're probably looking at something shorter term like trading, which I don't really get involved in. But if you are looking at long-term, large, potentially generational wealth, and have a time frame of, let's say, at least 10 years, then this is where this could come into play. And that is why it's important to do your research, as the project that you invest in needs to grow over that time frame. And that's not just crypto, that's general investment. In fact, let me read the quote on the left by Nick Murray, where he says, long-term investment success is almost totally a function of how one emotionally handles declines in the equity market, as opposed to how one's portfolio handles them. So the portfolio will go down, but it will go up over time is the aim. It's your emotions, because that is where the emotion comes into investing. If you are trading or you're looking at something shorter term, that is different. But if you are looking for long-term growth, which is what I advocate, then you need to invest in projects you are sure about and hold them for a long time frame, in my opinion. Because if you're confident in what you're investing in, if anything, you should be able to go against the grain of what everyone else is doing rather than following them. For example, when the price is low and a lot of people are panicking and they're selling, it's low, oh no, we're going to lose all of our money. You could actually, if you're confident in the project, you could use that opportunity to dollar cost average in to get more. And when the price is high, inversely, and a lot of people are buying in because they think it's going to the moon and it's amazing, we're going to keep going and going and going, you could actually use that as an opportunity to take profits. So don't worry about trying to time the top and the bottom, the very top, the very bottom of the market, the cycle. You're never going to be able to. It's almost impossible. Just look at BTC as an example here. So recording this video at the end of July 2023, the price of Bitcoin was around $29,000. If I'd invested in Bitcoin back in November 2022, when it was around $16,000, I'd be seeing some gains, 16 to 29,000. So I'd be really happy. If, however, I'd invested in 2019 and waited a bit longer, when it was just over $7,000, I would have more than quadrupled my investment in under 4 years. So I'd be ecstatic. However, if I'd invested in November of 2021, Bitcoin was around $63,000. So I would have lost a lot and I would have been really sad and dejected. So that's where the emotion gets into investing. And it's why I advocate a longer term approach rather than a more of a panicked or euphoric approach to investment. So let's get into it. Let's try and answer the question of how many cryptocurrencies you should own. And I do just want to remind you at this stage that this isn't financial advice. It's just my opinion and essentially education. But I, as an individual, wouldn't be investing money that is needed to live with. So for example, money that you need for your mortgage or for food or to live with, your essentials, I would advise not investing that. Just invest money that you can invest with. And secondly, please make sure you use a cold storage hardware wallet like a Trezor to store your crypto. And I'll go into that in another video, but just two key bits of advice about investment before we get into it. And the number of cryptocurrencies you hold will obviously depend on the capital you have to invest or that you've already invested. It seems obvious, but if you only have a few £1,000 or dollars or euros or whatever to invest, you're going to want a smaller portfolio. But if you have $1 million to invest, you can afford to spread your risk a bit more. And it's trying to get the balance between diversifying your portfolio as much as possible to hedge against or minimize risk, i.e. in case one or a few go down, and between getting the maximum returns you can. And it is difficult, but personally, I would advise caution and safety over taking risk and higher returns, especially in the crypto industry that is still, we have to say, is still a new technology and industry, so a nascent one that will grow, I think. But if we're looking at a long-term investment strategy and looking to mainly dollar cost average, this is my rough guide. So personally, if you had up to $5,000, I would only hold one, maybe two cryptocurrencies. If you held between $5,000 and $15,000, I think you can probably hold a maximum of three. And if you're going up to $100,000, hold a maximum of 5 cryptocurrencies. If you have more than $100,000 to invest, I think you could hold a maximum of 10 cryptocurrencies. And if you hold around $1 million or more, then I think you can hold a maximum of 20 cryptocurrencies. And I say maximum in every one of these, apart from the top ones, because just remember, my advice is that you need to research every cryptocurrency that you invest in fully, and you need to be confident in your investment, not just chase money without doing a lot of research. And you also need to try and avoid spreading yourself too thin by trying to stay up to date with these projects because they're developing very quickly, and monitoring your portfolio at the same time. So I want to show you a practical example of why I am on the smaller end. And I speak to people and they might be in, let's say they've invested $50,000. This is the third bullet point down. And they've got 30 cryptocurrencies. And then when we really get into the detail of it, they don't actually know some of the ones that they've invested. They don't really know why they invested in them. So this is just the advice that I found as I go through it. So let's look at a specific example. So this is a fictitious investment, and each box of $1,000, imagine that is a cryptocurrency. So I didn't want to use actual cryptocurrencies here, just the amounts. So my total investment is $10,000, let's say. And I've used that $10,000 to buy 10 different cryptocurrencies, all worth $1,000. So that equals my investment of $10,000. So let's look at what might happen. So let's say, again, this is fictitious, but let's say two of them, the ones in red on the left-hand side, they've dropped by 40%. So they've gone from $1,000 down to $600. Most of them have stayed the same. But the 1,000, so the 2,000 there has doubled in value, and the 3,000 has tripled in value. It's gone from $1,000 to $3,000. So that's amazing. I've got one that's doubled. I've got one that's tripled. It's incredible. But I've got two that went down 40%. So you could say I've got a nicely diversified portfolio and I'm still up. So my total has gone from 10,000 to 12,200. So that is brilliant. However, if I reduce this portfolio down and I'd researched them properly and I was confident, and let's say I included the 2,000 and 3,000, the increases that I know, I've actually gone for 4 cryptocurrencies. To be honest, it's because it divided by 10,000 easily. Now, each cryptocurrency, I'm not investing 1,000, I'm investing 2,500 to make my £10,000 portfolio, dollar portfolio, or pound or euro, doesn't matter. And let's apply the same fictitious outcome. This time, one of them has gone down by 40%. One of them stayed the same. One of them's doubled and one of them's tripled. So I've reduced down my portfolio. I've kept the 2 big ones that I'm really confident in. Let's say the third one is just ticking over, it's doing fine, and the third one's just had a rough time. Now compare my final outcome. It's $16,500 versus $12,200. So if you are operating with a slightly smaller amount and the ability just to keep track of your portfolio, I would urge personally on the side of a smaller portfolio. So that's what I try to follow, but you'll need to decide what's right for you. I would love to know what you think though, so please let me know in the comments below. And if you can like and subscribe to the channel, if you haven't already, that would be amazing. So thanks and have a great day.